I'd like to thank the Dundas Rotary for this beautiful and honorable award. I'm very humbled by all of this, and I've been asked to talk about poverty and racism. And my wife has been telling me, John, you can't talk about racism too much because you don't want to bring people down. But I always say, the truth will set you free. So, being black, first of all, racism comes with it. But what is really, really great is that there will always be hatred in this world, but love overpowers hate. And no matter how many evil people I've met twice as many great people, which makes life worth living. And the ones that prefer to be racist are the ones that lose out. That's how I look at life. Because I always say, if you don't want to get to know me, you just missed out on knowing a nice guy. It's as simple as that. And so I don't have time to stress out over people that's ignorant, and it's a waste of my time. But I'll get back to that later. First, I want to say to Steve, I had no idea. Steve, come here. Steve is my buddy. I was shocked when you walked up. I said, oh my God, I know Steve. Give me a hug, man. Steve and I go way back. Even though you don't have all that curly hair on your head, I still recognize you. Yeah, Steve is a great, great human being. Him and I, we play together a lot. And he is one of the most kindest and nicest, and I'm not saying it because you're here, it's a fact. He is just a beautiful, beautiful human being. And keep one thing in mind, Steve, God is always with you. Okay, and we're gonna just keep the faith, because you're gonna be all right.
Thank you. I see your guitar there.
Yeah.
If you want backups, let me know. Eh?
Okay. In terms of poverty, yes, I grew up very poor. I always tell people we were so poor that even the rats and roaches moved out of our house because they were afraid of being eaten. So I was doing an interview with a magazine, and they said, we'd like to do an interview with you over the phone. And I said, well, if you really want to know about my life, you have to walk the grounds where I grew up. So I went to West Virginia and met with the editors of the magazine, and I said, okay, now I'm going to give you a real picture so you really have something to write about. I said, first of all, where I grew up, I said, keep in mind, there were no garbage trucks that ran twice a week to pick up the garbage. I said, so where do you think the garbage went? Well, it would just, when you got enough garbage, it went right over the hill where we lived, because we lived up in the mountains. We didn't have hot and cold running water. We had to walk half a mile to get water from a well. I said, now also keep in mind, we had outdoor toilets. So, and I'm being very vivid about everything. So, and you have to picture this. So in the wintertime, and where we lived on a hill, and the path to walk from the house out to the toilet, it was sort of slanted. So at night, and it's not just our family, but what we had in our house, they called it a slop jar. I don't know if any of you have know the definition of a slop jar, but that's a pail where you urinate in and everything. And it was the children's job to take this pail out and dump it into the outhouse. So now this is just to give you a good idea how I grew up. And in the wintertime, it snowed there just like it snows here. And that hill's kind of slippery, so sometimes you're walking with that pail, and you slip down, and guess what happens? All that waste spills on you. Okay. So that was one. And in the summertime, in this outhouse, there's flies. And before you get to that outhouse, it sounds like helicopters inside. So that was a great inspiration for me to get out of poverty. So as soon as I was old enough, and I made a vow, I said, as soon as I was old enough, I'm getting out of here. So when I turned 17, I bought a one-way ticket from West Virginia, and I said, I'm never going to work because I saw how hard my father was working, never had anything. There was 8 of us in the family. And when I got to Rochester, New York, one day even today, I'm never where I'm at. My mind is always where I'm going. So one day I was mopping the floor. I was working in this restaurant, and a gentleman came in. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to track up your floor." I said, "Don't worry about it." I said, "I'm not here." He looked at me. He said, "What do you mean you're not here?" I said, "I'm not." He said, "Where are you?" I said, "Man, I'm on stage in front of thousands of people singing." And he looked at me and scratched his head. He said, "Okay, if you say so." Because that's where I was. I was where I was going. And so it was easy for me to get out of poverty because in my mind, I was never in poverty. I already knew I had a vision what I was going to do with my life, and I pursued it. It took me 7 years before I finally found the musicians that wanted to do the same thing that I wanted to do. When I met these guys, we formed this group called the Soul Brothers 6, and we played every night, every weekend in the same club. And then one day, we left Rochester and we went to Philadelphia. En route to Philadelphia, I wrote the song, Some Kind of Wonderful. And just to give you an idea how that song came about, there was a song on the radio called, it was by the Supremes with, "Baby, baby, baby, don't leave me. Da, 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 da." You know that song, right? So I was listening, and I always liked that beat. And I said, I know what I'm going to do. So I kept the beat, "Baby, baby." And then I said, boom, 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 boom. I created a bass line. When I said, I don't need a whole lot of money, it was because I was broke. When I said, I don't need a big fine car, it was because the car that we were riding in, you could look through the floor and you could see the highway. That's God's truth. So, and then when we got in Philadelphia and we recorded it, and I knew before we recorded that song it was going to be a hit. I knew it, and but what I didn't know, that after we recorded it, it would be recorded over and over and over and over. The reason most people know it by Grand Funk Railroad was, now this goes back to racism and discrimination. Because we were an African American group, the song was only played on black radio stations throughout the US. Grand Funk Railroad used to listen to black music. So their manager said to them, "This is a great song. You guys need to do a cover version of it." And when they recorded it, because they were an all-white group, it was played on all-white radio stations. After they recorded it, then someone else, even Conway Twitty did a version of Some Kind of Wonderful. So that song just kept being recorded and recorded. And I've had this question asked many times. They said, don't you feel bad that somebody took your song and they recorded it and you didn't get the credit? Maybe I didn't get the credit, but I got the money. And one day my wife asked me, we were on vacation. She said, so what about this girl you wrote the song about? I said, well, why are you worried about it? You're the one cashing the checks. So some kind of wonderful, and I have to share this with you. You know, how God works in people's lives, it used to bother me actually because I wasn't getting the recognition for that song. You know, they were, oh, Grand Funk Railroad song, it's Grand Funk Railroad song. Well, you know, God has a plan. And my song today is the most recorded song in music history. And it's been on the radio over 6 million times. And if it had only been recorded by the Soul Brother Six, that would have been the end of it. So what happened, and I can't share all this, about 3 months ago, because I've kept in touch with the president of BMI, which stands for Broadcast Music Incorporated, he said, John, I was going to call you. Also, just to back up a bit, I have a company called Some Kind of Wonderful Foods. I have a spice. And from time to time, I give it to the president of Broadcast Music Incorporated. So about 4 months ago, he called me, he said, John, he said, I need some spice. I said, well, I'll send you some. He said, well, you know what? Also, I wanted to talk to you about something. And I said, okay. He said, you know, your song has come up in a lot of conversations. That song is worth a lot of money right now. I said, really? So he said, well, my wife is shaking her head. So anyway, the song is very valuable right now. and I will but for all the times the song has been recorded, it's like hitting the lottery. We're going to leave it at that. So now I'm going to sing a song for my good buddy Steve. Steve, this is for you from the heart, and keep in mind what I said about God. God is beside you. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. I was blind, but now I see. It was grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my soul believed. How precious did their grace appear. The hour just toils and snares. We have already come. It was grace that brought me here thus far, and grace will lead me on. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I also have to acknowledge a few good friends, really close friends, besides Steve. Glenn Marshall is my Canadian manager when I'm here, and he takes care of all of my affairs. He's my, I don't call him a friend, I call him my brother. He's a great guy. Charlie over here, and Margaret, love you guys. Do I have time to sing a song? One more? Absolutely. Okay. Everybody's been asking me to play some kind of wonderful, so our president inspired me to write a song. So I'm going to sing this song, and if you feel like you want to sing along with me, I'd love for you. It goes like, it has a good reggae beat. It goes. Okay, we got that? Okay, there it goes. Go. If I had just one wish. Can we say that? Okay. All right. Okay, we're going to try it again. If I had just one wish. Wow, you guys should go on the road with me. Okay, now this goes. Don't say it now. If I had just one wish, this is what it would be. I wish the whole world could live in peace and harmony. There'd be no more wars. There'd be no more hate. I'd make this world a better place. I'd make this world great. Everybody, if I had just one wish. Yeah, one wish. One wish. Everybody, if I had just one wish. Oh, you're sounding good. There'd be no more sadness, only tears of joy. I put a smile on the face of every woman, every man, girl, and boy. There'd be no more hunger, there'd be no more pain. Dark clouds would fade away, and sunshine would replace the rain. Everybody, if I had just one wish, one wish, one wish. Everybody, if I had just one wish, yeah, one wish, one wish. If I had just one wish, this is where I'd begin. No one would be judged by the color of their skin. If I had just one wish. If I had just one wish. Everybody, if I had just one wish. One wish. One wish. Everybody, if I had just one wish. Just one wish. Just one wish. Just one wish. If I had just one wish. Yeah. That was awesome. You guys are amazing. Okay, I'm going to do some kind of wonderful, and then I'm going to sit down. I don't need a whole lots of money. I don't need a big fine car. I got everything that a man could want. I got more than I could ask for. I don't have to run around. I don't have to stay out all night. 'Cause I've got a sweet, sweet loving woman. She knows just how to treat me right. My baby, she's all right. My baby, she's out of sight. Don't you know that she's some kind of wonderful? Help me now. Some kind of wonderful. Say it one more time. Some kind of wonderful. Yeah, 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 yeah. When she holds me in her arms, sets my soul on fire. Ooh, when my baby kisses me, heart becomes filled with desire. She wraps her loving arms around me, drive me out of my mind. I got funny little feelings inside of me. Chills run up and down my spine. My baby, she's all right. My baby, she's out of sight. Don't you know that she is some kind of wonderful? Yes, she is some kind of wonderful. My baby, some kind of wonderful. Let me tell you one more thing. Is there anybody got a sweet little woman like mine? Gotta be somebody got a sweet little woman like mine. Yeah. Can I get a witness? 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 I said I'm talking about my baby, kind of wonderful. Talking about my baby, some kind of wonderful. Talking about my baby, some kind of wonderful. Talking about my baby, some kind of wonderful. I'm talking about my baby, some kind of wonderful. Talking about my baby, some kind of wonderful. Talking about my baby, talking about my baby. 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 Some kind of wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.